through. Hello.
Hello.
Is what Sahara calls my Mrs. Doubtfire open?
Yeah.
Because I didn't even realize that that's what it sounded like when I
Yeah.
started doing it.
Yeah, it does. Come. Oh wait, I forgot. Come in. I
We're
forgot my
back.
part. Damn. I've been doing it too
Yeah.
much now that it's forgotten. It's gone.
We're both sleepy, so this is
Yeah.
probably going to be a delirious show that may not make any sense, but whatever. This is my sister with us again today because we're doing another one of the cult episodes. Today we're going to be talking about the children of God and the cult of Black Jesus, which I had actually had this prepared long before everything that's been going on. So now I feel a little weird about it, but it's still an interesting case, so we're going to go with it. And I do actually I have a Black Lives Matter episode that I'm working on, but I want to do it justice, so we're not going to just half-ass that. I'm doing some research for that, and I'm going to have, hopefully, he said he would do it, but my friend James Hayes from Another Shade of True Crime, who covers those type of cases specifically, um, he's going to supposedly come on the show for that one, so that ought to be good.
Yeah, I
And
would I no matter what, I always sound insensitive, and I just like I don't know how to word things, and I don't know what everyone goes through, so I am trash at talking on that topic. Like I feel like I can never say enough. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
I think it's just like we know we have white privilege, and so it's hard not to come off as, not completely genuine when you talk about that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
even if you are. So, yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
And I am really having a good day today because I got up early and got on the Zoom call with Josh Mankiewicz from Dateline. We got invited along with some other true crime podcasts to basically interview him. We submitted questions for him for the interview through Good Pods, which is a new podcast app. It's on iOS only right now, but they're about to release it on Android too. It's like a social networking app for podcasts. You can listen to them through that, or you can follow people or subscribe to the podcast that you like and share stuff about them and stuff like that. So it's kind of like social media specifically for podcasts. And it's just a really cool new app that just came out.
Interesting.
So they're the ones that invited us to do this, and I went on there, and last minute she emailed us this morning and said, "Hey, we're going to have a meet and greet for all of y'all privately with Josh before the live show starts." And I'm like, "Oh shit," because like I usually sleep in till at least noon, and I was like, "Oh god, I better get up, and if I'm gonna have to be on a Zoom call, I better bathe and brush my hair or something, brush my hair or something,
Man, I don't do that.
So,
I'm on
but I
Zoom calls. I still avoid it.
yeah, but I got up and got ready and did that, and I'm glad that I did. Because I could have just taken the lazy way out and not participated in the Zoom call, and I still would have gotten on the regular show. But I decided, you know what, I'm going to take this opportunity, and I'm glad I did because I got to talk one on one with him, and it was really cool. And he said, and he knew Tupelo, and he said that he would put me in touch with some people that he knows here. I don't know what he means by that or who it is, or I
Yeah,
don't know. But that's what he said. Anyway,
cool.
and then I watched the live show, and he got asked my question and all that stuff. Basically, the whole reason I even signed on for this at all is just because that app is going to plug the show
Yeah.
on the app if you participated in it. So I was like, hey, publicity. I'm down with this. And I didn't know that the added bonus was that I would get to meet Josh Mankiewicz from Dateline, which
Fancy.
some people know who he is and some people don't. But I follow a lot of true crime, so I do. I'm like, oh shit, I know Josh Mankiewicz. I've heard him on other podcasts. Like I was really
Yeah,
excited.
I don't do anything other than kind of rewatch the same shows all the time. Like finally finishing Scrubs and like rewatch Gilmore Girls again. I did
Yeah,
just watch Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist. I very much enjoyed that show.
I haven't
But
watched that.
you should. It's
Um,
on Hulu. It's based in San Francisco, so of course I'm like, oh, it's my corporate office area.
yeah, but I just thought it was awesome that I got the opportunity to do that, and um, and all shoot, I about squealed in the middle of the freaking Zoom call because a podcast that I listen to, the podcaster that runs that podcast joined the call like right in the middle of it and about squealed because I
Yeah.
was like, because I'm a fan of hers too, and I was like, oh my god. But just in case for the curious, it's Sarah Turner from Voices for Justice who does she does a podcast about her own case because it's her sister went missing when she was a teenager, and the only suspect is her father. Um, and as you know, I kind of have a thing for podcasts about or crime stories about someone where their father is a suspect, but they're an advocate for getting them caught. Honestly, it's a big thing for mine. So I've been listening to her podcast, and I was really excited that she was on there. Anyway, I went way
Okay.
off subject right off the bat, but we always do this ananyway. And
Yeah.
I just wanted to brag about that because of the whole Dateline thing. I was like really freaking pumped. And
Yeah. I mean, for
that's
good
also
reason.
why I'm tired. Yeah, and that's why I'm tired too.
I just bought myself some AirPods. I'm pretty pumped. But since I spend like 24/7 on Zoom, like I was like, okay, it's time to treat myself. And so I'm like, ooh, maybe I can like actually listen to stuff now, like podcasts or whatever. But really, I'll probably still just listen to Gilmore Girls instead of watching
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Maybe I can
Um,
find a podcast about Gilmore Girls. Mix
pretty
it up.
sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've
I think
heard of
there's one
one
called
that.
Gilmore Guys at least.
Yeah, and I think it's like a gay guy or something that
Yeah.
I don't know because I think I have actually heard of that one. But anyway, I did have some notes from last time from our previous cult episode. I was saying that I wanted to try to mention where you know there were members of cults left over, like the Branch Davidians had um, leftover members, whether they really believe the same or not, but they're still leftover members. And I forgot to mention that there's not really remaining members, according to Google. There's not remaining members of the People's Temple. So I just wanted to,
Hmm.
like, the few survivors that there were moved on, except there were defectors afterwards, or during, like, before the massacre, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Jeannie Mills, along with her husband Alan, their 15-year-old daughter Dafine, were murdered execution style in their Berkeley home on February 26, 1980, just over a year after the Jonestown massacre, and it remains unsolved. So, you speculate that there's leftover members that were
Yeah.
mad that they defected or something. So
Yeah.
that made me wonder, like, are there really maybe some that are left over out there somewhere? Or have they since decided that was dumb, I need to move on? But
Yeah.
either way, the fact that they were murdered after Jonestown was really weird to me, and I had forgot to mention it.
Yeah. That's crazy. Just I don't know. I worry about the world today and how crazy things are that more shit like this is going to crop up. Like I really do. Like the mentality of the world is so divisive and frightening to see just even family members thinking other family members are just nuts, and I'm just like I don't even know what to do with myself anymore. Like I'm afraid of everyone at this point with how crazy they are. I'm
Mm,
gonna stay over here.
yeah. Um, And speaking of that, like you're talking about modern times and stuff, there's that case that's ongoing right now where they just found the remains of those kids that were missing. Lori Vallow and her husband. Um, they've been missing since September. There's a little boy and a little girl. And they've been missing since September. They just found their remains like yesterday, I think, and officially identified them today. But supposedly she's in a death cult. I don't know the name of, I don't know details on that, but supposedly she's in some sort of death cult and thought they were all going to die in July for some reason. That they're,
Yeah.
I guess we'll see. Maybe we will die in July at this point. At
Yeah,
this point, who can tell? Who can tell? So something supposedly is going to happen in July, and we're all going to fucking die anyway.
Well, why not 2020?
I know,
2012,
right?
2020, it sounds pretty similar. They just mixed it up a little bit. I feel like
Yeah,
I said that already.
we
Maybe I was
may
talking to
have.
somebody else. Shit,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
This is
I don't
it's
know
kind of
what day
weird.
it is or what time it is, because like I'm in a tiny like cubby hole all day now too. So I'm like, where am I? What's going on? I feel like I'm
What
in
had
like a fallout shelter.
what had happened?
Yeah, that's
What
where
is
I'm at
box
in
happening?
life.
What is box happening? Um,
Exactly.
and nobody will ever get that reference.
Yeah. Well, we do. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Denzel Washington.
Yep. Okay. The Family International. Ooh, it's one that I love to hate. Um, it's a cult which was founded in Huntington Beach, California in 1968. It was originally named Teens for Christ. I don't know, just the name Teens for Christ would make me run away. I just seemed really.
There's something though about like religious people that name like events and stuff that I just sit back and think like, do they know? Do they know how stupid this sounds or how bad it sounds? Like, I
Yeah,
don't.
especially when they try too hard to sound hip or,
Yeah.
you know, focus too much on youth, and then it just seems creepy.
Yeah,
It's like,
like, like, especially, like, religious bands, like rock bands. The
yeah,
names of those groups just kill me, like Skillet and whatever else. Like, oh my god, some of them just, I just I don't
because then some of them will sound all gothy, and then you find out they're Christian, and you're like,
yeah,
huh? I'm confused.
yep. Blood
But
blood f on the feet and hands, and it's
yeah,
really about, crucifixion, who knows?
yeah,
Oh, I'm tired.
yeah.
Uh,
Well, Teens for Christ later gained notoriety as the Children of God (COG). It was later renamed and reorganized as the Family of Love, which was eventually shortened to The Family. So it's currently named The Family. In the 1960s, after hearing of the large hippie population in Huntington Beach, California, Christian minister David Berg moved there to recruit the young people. It wasn't hard for him, and the hippies were quickly attracted to his anti establishment attitude. Well, who wasn't at that age?
yeah.
In my 20s, I was all about some anti establishment, like everything.
Mhm.
Many gave up their jobs and donated their savings to the group to live communally in Berg's house. Yeah, okay. I'm like, give up your job and donate all your money to somebody.
Just a hell no.
It seems like, is this a scam? You should
Yeah.
always ask yourself that.
Yeah, because like, and you ask these people why they did it, and they're like, "It was my idea." Like, no, it wasn't.
No, they
Even
made you
if you
think
think
it
it
was.
was your idea, and yeah, it was not.
Yeah, it's like everybody just up and decided to give all their money to this guy. Yeah, no, that's not the way it happened. I assure you, because that's now not how anything works in the world.
Yeah.
The group moved to Arizona when Berg claimed to receive a revelation that California would be struck by an earthquake. Members began to call Berg Moses and their group the Children of God. In the early 70s, the Children of God recruited all over the country and even set up international centers. By 1974, it had more than 4,000 members in 70 countries. Berg wrote a series of letters to all his communities to relate his teachings. In 1978, he reorganized the group, renaming it The Family. We already went over that, but anyway, However, the U.S. anti-cult movement targeted children of God, and many parents of members kidnapped and deprogrammed their children. Most controversial was Berg's progressive attitude towards sex. Well, of course. Haven't we already seen this?
Yeah.
He encouraged open sexual relationships and experimentation. The group has also been accused of encouraging child sex abuse. In what was called flirty fishing, he encouraged his members to engage in sexual relationships just to attract new members. By the late 1980s, after dealing with the problem of STDs, the group formally ended this practice. Yeah, that's pretty messed up. Now called the Family International, this group is still very active despite Berg's death in 1994. And of course, I brought y'all some more little random factlets because I like doing that. That's my the factlets are my favorite part. Hollywood stars Rose McGowan and Joaquin Phoenix were born into the cult.
Which means also River Phoenix and
Yes,
that whole
the
thing.
Phoenix family was all in that cult.
River, no.
Yeah. Its
Pretty sure
founder,
this group is one of the reasons River Phoenix was the way he was.
yeah, probably so. And that's really sad.
Yeah.
Its founder, David Berg, told members that God was love and love was sex, so there should be no limits regardless of age or relationship.
No thanks.
Yeah. It's like I can't even comment on that. It's just like, just no. It actually encouraged sexual activities among minors as young as 2 or 3 years old. How about a big no? A big hell fucking no. Berg's cult spread and claimed to have 10,000 full-time members in 130 communities around the world by the 70s. Some cornerstones of the children of God included the notion that God loves sex because sex is love and Satan hates sex because sex is beautiful.
It's not
I know.
funny. Okay, it's funny.
But it is funny the way that's worded, though. I mean, come on. In the mid-70s, Berg began to encourage the female members to practice the flirty fishing, which we already talked, based on Jesus' injunction in Matthew 4:19, "Follow me and I will make you fishers of men." So I think he took that a little bit too literally.
Yeah, no joke.
He instructed his female followers to go to bars, pick up men, seduce them into converting and joining children of God. In a 1979 annual report, he stated that their evangelist has witnessed to over 250,000 souls, loved over 25,000, and won about 19,000 of them to the Lord.
Wow.
Wow, they fucked 25,000 people. And it was apparently not that great if they only converted 19,000. I don't know.
Yeah, for real.
I don't know.
Well,
That's
that just gives me hope that at least there's enough people out there that are like, I love sex, but not enough to join a cult. Thanks, but no thanks. You know, like,
it's like, thanks for the booty. I'm out.
yeah.
Children of God wasn't just a hotbed of sexual abuse. They were apocalyptic and communist aspects within the foundation of the Children of God too. Members lived together in communes and banded together around the concept that an apocalypse was coming, and they were martyrs with the power to save the world from the Antichrist. To earn money and food, members would resort to street performances and begging for groceries, though they allegedly were only permitted to keep 10% of what they earned. Fuck you, I'm keeping my begged for groceries. I'm going to eat them before I get home, especially if they're pickles. Screw you guys. Anyway, proof that the Children of God cult was alive and kicking well into the 2000s was when Ricky Rodriguez, son of Karen Zerbe, the leader's widow, who took over after his death, committed a murder-suicide. By then, the group was operating under the name Family International. He killed basically his mother within the group, who had raised him and reportedly sexually abused him, and then he took his own life. Former members spoke out after the incident, saying they had witnessed Rodriguez having sex with his mother. Officially speaking, all the child sex stuff has ceased, but they remain secretive, so it's hard to tell if that's true. And I'm the one that added that part in there because, everywhere says they officially they say that the child sex stuff happening anymore. It's like, but nobody really knows where they are or what they're doing. So that's how can you say that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Though I couldn't find a specific number, it's been stated that dozens of former members have committed suicide because of what they went through in the group.
Yeah, I know that I've always been kind of obsessed with River Phoenix because that's a whole other episode, but I had like really weird dreams about him where like I lived whole lives with him trying to like save him. Kind of like Final Destination style where like death was coming from him and I'm like, "No, you can't die. You're going to die this way. Don't do it." Like
Yeah.
anyway, I've always loved River Phoenix and like reading a lot of the stuff like he had lost his virginity at like toddler age and yeah had been sexually abused and all of that was just normalized and just that's part of why he was fucked up, so he may not have committed suicide but he definitely, I would guess that this group had a lot to do with the trouble he had, because I think he was only like what 21 or something when he died in like 1990 or something like that.
Mm.
And the family didn't leave the cult until Joaquin was a few years old. Yeah, it says that they were Joaquin was 3 when they left the group in 1977. So like, just what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
fucking with children? No.
I
Like,
know.
why does that have to be a thing?
I think Rose.
Like, I can understand getting into a group and you want to be open and freaky deaky. Like, I get that. I'm all about open relationships and whoever doing what's good for them. But you bring babies into that, and I'm gonna fucking kill you. Like you
Yeah.
get out of here. You go to jail. Like it's
You go to hell. You go to hell and you die.
basically, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. I'll never understand it. I know that, like I said, I understand people can be broken in their brain. Obviously, me and you are a little bit fucked up in different levels or whatever, right? But
I'm the
like,
more fucked up one, just in case anybody was
yeah,
curious.
hey,
If I hadn't already figured it out.
yeah, I'm gaining on you. But like, I don't like I just don't get it. Like, scientists have like identified a lot of the broken pieces similar to what we have, like, manic depressive and depression, things like that. There's like, but like, who's researching this kind of fucked up? Like, when can we get a pill for this? How can we stop this? Like, what the, just, no, like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know what to say. I just want it to not be a thing.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Um, and also, I just wanted to say I had watched the documentary Children of God. I think at some point it was on Netflix. I'm not sure if it still is, but there's a documentary about Children of God. And it follows a specific family that had survived living this and the little girls in their family and the abuse that they suffered. And it's really, if you're into that sort of thing, but it's pretty heavy. So just a
Yeah,
warning
it
there.
looks
Yeah.
like there might, yeah, I think it's just called Children of God on Netflix.
hmm So it's a good story. It's interesting documentary, but like I said, it's really heavy. So I'm going to warn you guys about that.
Mm.
You're like, no, I'll stay away from the heavy right now. It's,
Like, oh,
uh, maybe
but
when 2020 is over.
yeah, I don't know if I could handle anything else in 2020 at this point. Like, I'm too fragile, like the rest of us. I just,
Yeah.
I'll keep drowning myself in work and reruns for now.
Well, everybody, like most, well, our area is really lax right now, but my birthday's tomorrow, and it's like really kind of a bummer because we usually go out and do all kinds of shit for my birthday, and it's
Mhm.
like, can't really do that right now.
Yeah.
Especially since we just had like 500 new cases in one day of COVID. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna continue not going out. I've done like minimal amounts of going out so far, and I
Yeah.
will continue this. Like, I'll keep ordering, Tupelo to go. Shout out. I give you a shit ton of business.
Me too.
But like I'm still trying to avoid going places for the most part. I mean, really, I should have more time to like do stuff around the house and all that, but instead I just work longer and sleep longer, and so I don't really do anything else.
I feel you. You want to read about Black Jesus cult for us?
Ooh, let's see. Let me screw this
It's
up.
a rough one.
All right, Stephen. So I know nothing about this one, so let me screw this up. All right, Stephen Garas. Why'd you give this to me when I'm sleepy? Stephen Gariside Terry, 1971 to 2013. I don't know why I read that. See, it's already going wrong. All right, he's also known as Black Jesus. He was a Papua New Guinea religious figure, leader of a Christian-influenced cargo cult who claimed to be the Messiah or the Christ. So Tari was born on Manus Island in 1971. He studied to become a Lutheran minister at Amron Bible College in Madang, but
Dang.
I know.
Anyway,
We
I had to.
we
I had
make
to.
these perfectly normal sounding things sound so southern when we read it, like every time, every
Yeah.
time. So he studied to become a Lutheran minister at Amron Bible College in Madang, but left the school prematurely after rejecting the teachings of the Bible, leaving behind both his clothing and his belongings. He retreated into the mountain village of Gal, where he formed a personality cult around himself as the Messiah, adopting the moniker Black Jesus. According to some reports, he was expelled from the school for theft. Tari's cult, which is estimated to have numbered as many as 6,000, became notorious for its alleged use of flower girls who served as concubines for Tari. The girls dressed in scant clothing. The Lutheran Church, very prominent in Papua New Guinea, declared Tari an enemy of the church. Tari was pursued by Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary Police in 2005 as a result of his teachings, which included promises of material goods and well-being for the villagers' worship. Under recent laws intended to combat this widespread occurrence of cults in the country, it is illegal to make such promises. The first rape-murder accusation against Tari involves the fate of Rita Herman, who joined the cult at age 13 as a personal flower girl of the self-styled Messiah. No.
Yeah.
According to
Oh,
her
no. It gets worse. It gets so much worse. Just wait.
That's my baby's age. Or close. According to accusations in October 2006, Tari and a select circle of his ex-Lutheran aides, along with Barmahal Herman, the girl's mother and reported queen of the Flower Girls, took 14-year-old Rita into a private tent where she was raped by Tari. Barmahal instructed her daughter to submit, as she and her family would be blessed by Tari and would receive great gifts of material goods and wealth as reward for the ritual. No. Just no. After the rape, Tari killed the girl with multiple knife stabs. Barmahal's other daughter had been previously jailed for being one of Tari's flower girls. Barmahal has denied being present at the event.
Wait. I didn't even notice this before. Her other daughter had been previously jailed for being one of his flower girls. Why are we jailing these little girls that are being forced into this situation?
Yeah.
Like, what
I'd like
that's
some more
fucked up.
detail on what that means exactly.
Yeah.
Jesus. Tari was initially captured in 2005 but escaped prior to his trial with the help of a Lutheran pastor, Logan Sappas, who had been assigned to counsel him but became converted to Tari's cult instead. People. Back in the jungle, Tari cultivated an honor guard and recruited a new crop of flower girls from the remote villages, promising them blessings of wealth in exchange. Tari enlisted only virgins, reportedly some as 8 years old. Tari ordered the destruction of rival Lutheran churches and terrorized nearby villages who would not submit to him. About 50 of Tari's followers, including about 30 flower girls, were rounded up in an operation in June 2006. Those followers publicly renounced Tari and reconciled with their churches. In 2007, Tari was captured after rival villagers traveled into his mountain stronghold of Matepe Metepi village in the Transgogol area of Madang province. God, I wish I was cultured. And attacked and captured him. One of the villagers climbed into a tree to obtain a cell phone signal and called the authorities. Tari's appearance in court was delayed due to the injuries he suffered in that assault. He appeared in court in October 2007, charged with sexual offenses. The claims of murder were never tested in court. He
Yep.
argued in his defense that those women were flower girls and this was the work of the minister and permitted by the religion. And I don't know if the charges laid against me are wrong or right. Because he had no legal representation, the trial was adjourned until December. He was held in Madang's Beyond prison in April 2010. It was reported that Tari again attempted escape from custody but was quickly caught afterwards. In October 2010, he was found guilty of 4 counts of rape and sentenced to 20 years in prison. Can't even say prison at this point.
I'm finding it entertaining.
Yeah. On March 21st, 2013, Tari escaped with 40 other prisoners in a mass breakout from beyond prison camp. On August 31st, police reported that Tari had been killed by the villagers in Gal, a small Madang village, 2 days earlier, allegedly after murdering a local woman. An investigation is pending, although national news reporters have reported that Tari was chopped to death by the angry villagers. Oh God, I hope that's true because this almost leaves it kind of open ended. Like we're pretty sure he's dead. Yeah.
Well, there's more. Well, there's more detail, and there's
Okay.
description of what supposedly happened to him too. So
Okay.
keep reading. Just keep reading.
All right. Here's some more tidbits for you. Papua New Guinea's self-styled Black Jesus died as he had lived, meeting a gruesome, violent end during which he was hacked and slashed to death with bush knives and also castrated, according to fresh details which emerged. Fresh details. I like that. It was also reported.
Funky fresh.
Yeah. It was also reported, bizarrely, that Tari, an infamous cult leader and convicted rapist suspected of sacrificial killings and cannibalism, had been on the verge of flying to Israel by helicopter. His followers had bought a pig for a farewell feast last Friday, but Tari never got to sample it. He was killed on Thursday. So he was about to legit escape the hell out of there. Oh my God, this dude. But it seems that his ritualistic murder last Tuesday of a 15-year-old schoolgirl, Rose Wagam, was the last straw for men in the remote villages in eastern Papua New Guinea, where Tari had been sheltering since escaping from prison last. So he got just. According to the national newspaper, following the girl's murder and the attempted murder of a 14-year-old the following day, about 80 men came together to kill him, and one of his followers, 15-year-old Matus Ugmaba. So wait, they came after to kill the main dude and a child?
I think so, but it was one of his close followers, though.
Yeah, but it's a baby. Still, don't kill a 15-year-old. Fix him, man. Anyway,
It may, and we don't know the details, so I don't know. It could have been that he tried to fight back to protect
yeah,
what's his face too. So I don't really know the details on that. It doesn't say.
yeah. The 14-year-old girl was saved by the village men who subsequently killed Tari, according to Mr. Bond. However, a 10-year-old girl who accompanied Rose and her aunt to Gal last week is still missing. Police said Mirigan Wagam, aunt of the murdered Rose, had acted as a scout for young girls and virgins whom she brought to Tari.
So in this case, it was the aunt.
Jesus.
Who, yeah.
So the men that tied Tari's necks, he has multiple. Oh my God. The men tied Tari's neck with cane ropes, dragged him to an isolated spot, and buried him in a shallow pit. The nature of his injuries was established after health and mortuary workers dug up his body. He was chopped and slashed. Blah. Yeah, we got all that.
His intestines were showing.
Yum. Authorities there vowed to rid the area of dangerous cult activity, so if there's anything left of his cult after Tari's death, nobody's acknowledging it. So, yeah. Well,
I would hope not.
so he
This
really
skull.
went after teenagers, but even then, like, went younger.
Well, virgin girls, yeah.
Yeah.
why would anybody? I guess this one's like really perplexing to me because all he's doing is promising them riches in exchange for their virgin kids.
Yeah,
Like, I don't. Why would you go for that? Even if you thought he was going to come through with the riches, which I assume they would think that, but
yeah,
I wouldn't buy it.
no,
But then to give away your child, and then he killed them, and these people are still following him. Like, you give their virginity to him, and then on top of that, he murders them, but you're still backing him. Like, I don't.
yeah, that doesn't.
Fuck
This,
that. Fuck those people.
yeah, I just don't. I'm never gonna get how people let their loved ones like something like that to happen to them. Like, I'm sorry, but if you tried to like bring Nancy to somewhere, I would be like, but no, like no. Like, obviously you wouldn't in particular, but
No,
I mean
no.
it's like, how? No, just, I mean, I guess it's different. I mean, these are different countries culturally. Like I said, I'm uncultured swine. I don't know everything there is to know, but like things are different there, but at the same time, like, no,
Yeah,
just no.
just no. Um, I have an honorable mention on this, the foot reading cult. Hono Hana Pogio. I think that's how it's pronounced, but who knows? Um, it's often called the foot reading cult because its founder, Hogan Fukunaga? Yeah, Fukunaga, I think, claimed he could make a diagnosis by examining people's feet. He founded the group in 1987 after an alleged spiritual event where he claimed to have realized he was the reincarnation of Jesus Christ and the Buddha
All right.
at the same time. The group at one time claimed 30,000 members. However, Fukunaga charged $900 for the foot readings, and a suspicion arose that he used the money to benefit himself. Well, duh.
Really?
Oh my God, that's shocking! No, it isn't. He was accused of swindling money from housewives and had to pay over $1 million in damages. He held paid seminars where he would use intimidation to get the victims to pay for further seminars for helping their physical and spiritual enhancement. He spent enormous amounts enhancing his reputation as a religious leader by buying audiences with former Soviet President Gorbachev, Pope John Paul II, President Clinton, Mother Teresa, Margaret Thatcher. Like, he would just get like buy audience with celebrities and politicians to try
Mm.
and make himself look better than he really was. The founder was sentenced to 12 years in prison for bilking his flock out of 150 million yen in the name of religious training. 15 senior cult members were charged with mass fraud. 9 of the 15 were given verdicts, with all of them convicted. Prosecutors charged him with practicing medicine without a license. Fukunaga might yet face manslaughter charges in the deaths of 4 recruits who died during rigorous initiation rites at Mount Fuji. I did not get details on that, but
Well,
yeah. But I just thought it was an interesting, sort of humorous one because he's reading people's feet,
like palm reading, but with feet.
sort of, yeah.
Yeah,
So I had to bring that one up just because it was weird.
yeah. I don't know, man. I guess the weirder it gets, the more you're like, maybe it's real. But I mean, the dude kept literally getting sued. Like, I don't know. I guess there's the stupid people that will fight for him, and I don't know. I don't know. Again, that's insensitive to call them stupid people. Again, it's all about your culture and where you're at, and like we talked about before, a lot of the people that get roped into this are like may have addictions they're overcoming or mental instability, issues like that. But like, I don't know. At some point, a lot of them, like, you're like, oh, my life, I got sober with them. But, like, at the same time, you're sober now, wake up. Like, I don't know. It's always easier to, like, have an opinion on the outside, but these cults in particular, like, I don't care what's going on. The second you involve children, rapey things, you know, giving all your money away, like, I'm out. Like, that's the reddest of red flags. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't
Oh,
matter if it's helping you or not. Help yourself. Get the fuck out of there. If something smells funky, it's probably funky.
yeah.
And that's your lesson, kids. If it smells funky, it's probably funky.
Do you have anything else to add about either one of those, Children of God or the Cult of Black Jesus?
Um,
It's it still
I,
feels weird and like blasphemous or something just to even say that because I feel like it's insulting to people that believe in a black Jesus, you know? Like I feel like it's
yeah,
almost rude to call him that, but
yeah,
that's just what it's called is the Cult of Black Jesus. So I can't it's like yeah.
yeah. He
I don't
called
know what
himself like Jesus. I mean, it is what it is. That's his proper noun or whatever.
yeah.
um,
But it
I don't
just
know.
still feels wrong to say it.
Yeah,
Yeah. I don't know.
I
It's
don't
like
know.
embarrassing.
I just
I'm
blame cults for why we lost River Phoenix too soon. So that's why I'm against them all. They took my River Phoenix.
That's probably going to be the name of this episode. They took my River Phoenix. Some,
And Joaquin is the not as good Phoenix brother.
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
Oh man, I still like him though. I
yeah,
still think he's underrated in Parenthood because nobody ever remembers that, and his name wasn't even the same. He was Leaf back then,
yeah.
so
No,
I love him in that.
I just no, I love Joaquin as well. Like he is a great actor. I think he's. I don't always like the actors that have those weird fake personas. Like I get it, they want to kind of leave their personal lives out of it, so I kind of understand. It's like Crispin Glover. Like Crispin Glover is fully aware that everybody thinks he's weird, but he's
He
like,
is weird.
well, he is weird too, but a lot of it is a persona. He's like admitted that like yes, what you know, who you know as Crispin Glover is its own entity. So like I get it, like specifically keeping your private life out of public's eyes, but I feel better in my own life just being me. Like whether it's
Yeah,
my boss or whether I'm talking to, well, we don't talk to our parents, or whether it's you, whether it's my in-laws, I'm still me. Like I just couldn't fathom a world where you pretended to not be yourself. And so like, but Joaquin, in that situation, since he was part of that also may be part coping mechanism to deal with a lot of shit he has from being in that cult. Like, don't take Joaquin too, please. No,
I
isn't
just
he
thought
like engaged to one of those actresses like Rooney Mara or something like that? They
I
look
have no
cute.
idea,
Yeah.
but I just thought as a side note, I would say that we both have met Crispin Glover and
Oh yeah.
that he was yeah, and that he was actually really quiet and just nice. I, so it's very jarring compared to his normal persona. You're like expecting him to
Yeah.
just like randomly shout something weird, like he has Tourette's or something, and
Yeah.
he's just really quiet and
Man,
nice.
I read like one random countdown the other day on my phone about Crispin Glover. So it's funny we're talking about him. I guess that's why he's in my head. But now, like Facebook, like every other article, it's advertising is about Crispin Glover. I'm like, how many articles can there really be about Crispin Glover at this point? Like, have I not read them all? But like, one of them actually had some footage, like where he was in like Facts of Life and not Growing Pains. The other one, the Michael J. Fox one. Damn, why can't I think of it? I love the
Um,
show.
God, Family Ties.
There we go. I don't know. I'm like, I can sing the song, but I can't think of the name of the song.
What would we do, baby,
Baby, without
without
us,
us?
what would
What
we
would we do
do, baby? Anyway,
without? We could just probably keep singing
yeah.
80s theme songs all day.
But
And
yeah,
if you
like,
guys want that podcast, we might could make it for the right price.
yeah.
Um,
But no, like it showed like clips where Chris McGlover had been guest starred on several shows, and he was still weird. Like he was a lot more normal looking, if that makes any sense, and a little
Yeah.
more normal, but there was still that hint of Chris McGlover weirdness, that fresh detail of Chris McGlover's weirdness. But I don't know.
Funky fresh.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know how all that got started, but I'm sleepy. It's
Yeah.
only like 7
Anyway,
PM.
yeah. Well, we're almost done. I just need to give a shout out to Wait to Panic. That's a podcast that we've become friends with, and Chill Thrills and Kills, also another one that I recommend. So check those out.
Oh,
And
and also shout out to Bana, because I forgot that last episode and I feel really bad about it.
yes, because we're actually friends with her, and so she probably was expecting you to. She probably listened to it and was like, God, God, Sabrina.
I'm so sorry.
And it feels almost rude too that we shout out Bonna every episode, and we have a lot more fans now. It's like
Well, I
we
only
only
shout out Bana specifically because I know her.
yeah
And I have not caught up on all the episodes at this point.
yeah.
I haven't even
But
listened to the ones I'm on, much less any of the other ones to catch up. So, like,
that's
I
so
got
sweet.
yeah, I got halfway through the one about time travel, like when we were on our way to Gatlinburg, and then I never got through it. I think I got to the part about the jugs, and then I never got any further. My family was like, "Why are you listening to yourself? Oh my god!" But it was funny
Yeah,
because Alex was with us, and we had done a shout out to Alex that he would be listening, and he was like, "Yeah, I already heard this."
that's funny. Um. Anyway, so I did my shout outs. Check out our info for any other stuff like contact information. We'll have you back again because there's still a huge list of cults.
Yeah.
So
Just
we'll get
remember,
to that.
kids, if it smells funky, it's probably funky.
Yep. That's that one actually may be the title. I'm not sure yet. I'll decide later.
Yeah.
And so I don't even know where to go from here. I guess
Yeah.
we're done, but bye bye.
We did it. We did it in under an hour.
That's a Christmas miracle
Yeah.
in or a 2020 miracle. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
And then I'll listen back and it'll be like dead air.
Yeah.
I'll be
Oh
like, God
my.
dang it, we have to redo this whole episode. Anyway,